Hello and welcome to this first tutorial on how to use Game Maker. Now today you're going to be creating a game called Catch the Fruit, and in all game development platforms such as this one, it's a good idea to start by bringing in the graphics that are actually going to be in your game. For example, the backgrounds, the characters, the objects that you collect in order to gain points, and also some of perhaps the things that perhaps make you lose points or lose lives. So that's the first step, and we'll run through that now. So you can see your Game Maker window like mine, and we're going to add into this first folder here, and this folder is called Sprites, and a sprite in Game Maker is simply an image. So we're going to load a series of image files which we've saved into this folder here. Now in order to do this, there is a button on the toolbar along the top, and it's the little red Pac-Man looking icon, and this is how we can add in sprites. So when I click on that, you can see a little window appears here, and it's got a few options for me to choose. Now the first sprite that we're going to add into Game Maker is a sprite for the wall which will go around the edge of the game. Now you can see that I'm about to name this sprite. Before I've even loaded in, I'm going to name it, and I'm going to call all my sprites. I'm going to start the name of all my sprites with SPR. Then I can put an underscore, and I'm going to name the sprite. Now the first one we're going to bring in is basically a picture of a wall. So I'm going to name this sprite SPR underscore wall. Now we use an underscore rather than a space, so that we don't have any problems later on when the actual game runs and is compiled. So it's a good idea whenever you're programming the computer to do something, never leave spaces in the names of variables or strings or arrays, or in this particular case on the names of sprites. Okay, now you can see once you've named it that you need to then load a sprite, and that icon there shows that you're loading it in from a folder location. So when I click on it, you have all of the options here to go and find the file that which you load in. Now depending on where you're accessing this tutorial, you'll need to navigate your way to the sprite folder. Now for me, I've got it on my desktop in a folder called Game Maker 8 in sprites. Now yours could well be on a shared drive, and I'm sure your teacher will point you to the direction of where these sprites are saved for you. Now they're all saved in a folder called Tutorial 1, and you can see here that we've got different sprites. I've got an image of an apple, a banana, a bomb, a cherry, a strawberry, and a wall. So they are the sprites that we're going to use within our game. So we're going to catch the fruit. We're going to lose a life or points if we hit a bomb, and of course we need a wall so that all of these different parts actually stay in one place. So I'm going to select wall here. Now having a look around, you can see that this image is 32 pixels by 32. We're making a 32-bit game. We'll talk more about that in class. Now if we open that up, you can see what it's done is it's loaded that image into the sprite wall. If I click OK now, you can see that in my sprites folder I have now got the sprite wall. I'll just show you how to do one more. So it's create a sprite using the red Pac-Man icon there. This time I'm going to load in the next sprite, which is going to be any one of the fruits. So for example, I remember the apple being there, so I'm going to do SPR underscore apple, and click on the load sprite, and then click on apple. Open it up, and you can see now the apple is attached to the sprite underscore apple that I've created, and click OK. Now what you need to do now is bring in all of the other sprites in that folder, giving them appropriate names, and then come back to the next video in this